My name is Keith Steeling, and I am the Dean of Students for the Harrisburg campus. I have the privilege of welcoming you today to these wonderful festivities. We ask at this time that you take your places in preparation for the beginning of today's ceremony. As you move to your seats, I would like to explain some of the highlights of the processional that you will see momentarily. The academic processional is led by the Grand Marshal, Professor James Dean, carrying the ceremonial staff called the mace. This staff is used to begin and close all academic convocations. The Grand Marshal is always the senior ranking faculty member present. The students will enter in 2 lines led by the 2 faculty marshals. Professor D. Benjamin Barros, a graduate of Fordham University School of Law, and Professor Susan M. Raker-Jordan, a graduate of the University of South Carolina School of Law. Both are wearing gowns and hoods distinctive to their law schools. You will note that the graduates are gowned in black robes, trimmed in black velvet with 3 black stripes called chevrons across each sleeve, which designate the doctorate degree. Each graduate is wearing a hood trimmed in purple to show that the doctorate degree is in law, and the colors of Widener University, blue and yellow. Some students are wearing blue and yellow cords around their necks, which designate that the student is graduating with academic honors. Students wearing gold cords are being recognized for their academic achievements as members of Phi Kappa Phi. Red cords signify recognition for students' pro bono work. White cords designate students who are members of the Widener Law Journal or the Widener Journal of Law, Economics, and Race. Members of the Advocacy Society, moot court and mock trial, are recognized by green cords. The students will be followed by the faculty. Leading the faculty is Professor and Associate Dean of Faculty, Robert C. Power. Each faculty member wears a hood trimmed in purple and showing the colors of his or her law school. This part of the processional adds a great deal of color and pageantry to the ceremony. We are extremely proud of the distinction of our faculty. Finally, the honored guests will proceed to the platform. The platform party includes the participants in the ceremony, as well as the trustees in blue and yellow gowns and the overseers. The last member of the academic processional is the Senior Vice President and Provost of the University, Dr. Joe. During an academic function, it is appropriate for the audience to remain seated for the academic processional. At this time, I would ask you to please be sure that your cell phones and other handheld devices are turned off. I hope you will enjoy the program that is about to begin and will join the faculty and staff for a reception at the Harrisburg Hilton immediately following the ceremony in celebration of this momentous day. Thank you.
May I have your attention, please? The faculty and staff of Widener University School of Law welcome you today. We ask that you remain seated for the processional. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is with a great deal of pride that we present to you the graduating class of the Widener University School of Law, Harrisburg campus, the class of 2010.
the 19th commencement ceremony of Widener University School of Law. Will you please stand for the singing of the national anthem by Ms. Abby Trogan, a member of the class of 2010, and remain standing for the invocation presented by the Reverend Ron Provencher, father of Emily Provencher, a member of the class of 2010.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let us pray. Dear God, we ask your blessing upon each graduate today and throughout their careers. We come together today as students, faculty, family, and friends to take part in this commencement of the 2010 class of Widener School of Law. It is truly a day of celebration for each graduate. It is the occasion at which their dedication and diligence is recognized. It is the event that will launch them into a life dedicated to justice, truth, and compassion. To you, dear God, we commend this graduation ceremony. Amen. Please be seated.
Thank you, Reverend Provencher. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Linda Ammons. I am the Associate Provost and Dean of the School of Law, and it is with pleasure I welcome you to this year's commencement ceremony. Seated on the platform is our honorary degree recipient and commencement speaker, the Honorable Pedro A. Cortez, Secretary of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Also with us today are members of our University Board of Trustees. I'd like for each one of them to stand as they are introduced, and we will hold our applause until all have been introduced. Our Board of Trustees include the Chairman of the Board, Mr. Nicholas Traynor, Mr. Paul Wiedemann, Treasurer of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Cynthia Sarnowski, Dr. Ronald Stead, and Ms. Ayana Wood. Additionally, we have members of the Law School Board of Overseers, including Dr. Jacqueline Goodwin and Douglas Wolfberg, Esquire. The President of the Alumni Association, Renee B. Axelrod, Esquire. Would you please join me in welcoming all our distinguished guests. We are also very pleased to have with us today the Senior Vice President and Provost of our university, Dr. Joe Allen, who will come to the podium at this time.
President Harris, who could not be with us today, I bring you greetings and I congratulate the class of 2010 for your extraordinary accomplishments. I look forward to hearing more from you as alumni of this outstanding School of Law. In my role as Senior Vice President and Provost, I am responsible for the academic and student affairs of all 4 of Widener's campuses. In short, the deans, the faculty, the curriculum, and the student organizations and contributions, and yes, behaviors are all within my purview. Yet it's rare for a provost to have the opportunity to deliver remarks at commencement, so I'm truly honored. As you graduate, I want to challenge you to continue on the intellectual and honorable path you have chosen in the study of law. Beyond the ongoing journey, though, I want to challenge you to intensify the depth of your commitment to the law, to the advancement of humanity, and to your own personal growth. On Easter Sunday, I was in La Jolla, California, waiting for a professional conference to begin. Now, occasionally, my 82-year-old mother will travel with me when I'm going to particularly attractive places, and you can imagine that La Jolla would be one of those places. And since I'm in a room full of attorneys, I will tell you that I have a waiver from her to tell this story, and also to reveal her age, okay? But she also insists that I tell you she pays her own way, so we're going to powerless. We had arrived a little bit earlier in the day. We spent the early afternoon walking along the Pacific Ocean and enjoying the spring sunshine. When we returned to the hotel, she decided to go up to our room and rest a bit, and I decided to sit by the pool and review my notes for my presentation and just enjoy the beautiful day. As I was reading, I felt a rumble, similar to what you'd feel if you were sitting by a road when a convoy of dump trucks thunders by. Only there were no engines. Within a very few seconds, I realized that we were experiencing an earthquake. I looked at the pool, fascinated by the water sloshing to one side and then the other. The lone swimmer in the pool stopped her lap, found her feet, removed her goggles, and looked around curiously. The woman next to me calmly sat up and said, "Oh, it's an earthquake. I'm in San Francisco, we have them all the time." Although this is a pretty good one. The rumbling continued, and I was curious that my reaction was not one of panic, but fascination. So this is what an earthquake feels like. Within a few seconds, of course, I realized that the earth could open up, the hotel could fall on us, and all the other disastrous consequences that you think of that could be just moments away. But none of that happened. The earth did not open, the hotel did not fall on us. So as soon as the trembling ended, I started to go into the hotel to make sure that my mother was okay. But even at 82, she beat me downstairs before I could get upstairs. She said, "Did you feel that?" I said, "I certainly did. Are you okay?" She said, "Boy, the room was swaying. I thought the TV was going to fall." At that moment, I realized that her experience with the earthquake was far different from mine. On the ground floor, I felt fascination, physical trembling of the earth. On the 11th floor, she felt fear at both the trembling and the exaggerated motion that a fluid building designed to withstand quakes and tremors would offer. So my first lesson of the earthquake was a reminder that perspective matters. What's fascinating to one person is frightening to others, and that empathy requires us to see from the perspective of others. We stayed downstairs a while as a few more aftershocks hit. And then watching the story unfold on CNN, we learned that the earthquake registered a 7.2 on the Richter scale. Amazing, 7.2. Although sadly, 2 people lost their lives in Mexico. Very little damage was reported. How could that be? A 7.2 earthquake and only minimal damage. In the course of the next few days, I learned the secret. The amount of devastation with an earthquake depends not only on the power of the quake itself, the movement of the continental plates, but on the depth of the quake, with deeper quakes typically creating less damage than those closer to the surface. I can't help but think that the correlation between an earthquake's depth or shallowness and damage is a powerful metaphor for many of life's experiences. It seems to me that the more profoundly and deeply we think and commit to whatever our life's passions may be, the more likely we are to do well and to do good. Alternatively, it's the shallow stabs we make at relationships, at thinking, at service, and problem solving that create the most damage. A careless quip, a silly argument, a reckless pronouncement, an ill-informed judgment. These are the things of pain. I've been thinking about depth a lot lately, and I'm seeing all sorts of ways that depth matters. As an academician and student of whether and how people learn, I'm particularly interested in research on deep learning, which demonstrates that the mere memorization of facts and figures gives students fleeting knowledge that they may or may not be able to put to use in real-life situations, and especially not under pressure. Deep learning, therefore, is the ability to apply what is learned, to think critically, analyze a situation, and shape useful solutions. As lawyers, deep learning is what will allow you to think on your feet, make connections between precedents and current cases, and select the rhetorical nuances of language that will persuade others. Like the deep earthquake, your deep learning will allow you to accommodate upheavals without devastation. I've also been thinking about depth as a matter of character and commitment. I think we've all known people, perhaps even some of your peers, who've engaged in volunteerism, pro bono work, or other endeavors as a means of padding a resume. As soon as they rack up a reasonable number of hours, their service wanes. You cannot imagine what that does to the child, to the veteran, or the senior citizen who feels the hurt of not being interesting enough to sustain the volunteer's commitment. The damage is done. The shallow commitment short-circuits the process of evolving from being curious to being genuinely interested to being passionate about something. And so these people float shallowly through opportunities for engagement that truly matter for the people involved, instead refusing the deep commitment to the lifelong development of character that shapes a life well lived. Like the shallow earthquake, they register very little on any scale of magnitude and meaning, but do great damage to everything around. As you leave Widener, confident in the deep learning you've developed to practice law with fluency, and committed to exercising the depth of character that merits our faith in you, I challenge you to become a force of nature, not a shallow trembler that upsets the surface but otherwise leaves little imprint, but instead a force of nature whose depth drives your passion for making powerful and worthy decisions that affect us all, and that will shape the kind of person and professional into which you are constantly evolving. You stand today at a pivotal moment that begs you to make a decision about the rest of your life. As an educator, I urge you to continue deepening your knowledge of the law. As a fellow human being, though, I urge you to continue deepening your commitment to others. It may well be that the depth of your character and its impact on others will far transcend the impact of the depth of your knowledge. For ultimately, it's the depth of your character that will make you count for something powerful on the scale of human achievement, and that will register you as memorable in the legacy of our times. I wish you great success in all that you do. Congratulations.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the president of the Widener Law School Alumni Association, Renee B. Axelrod, Esquire. Renee is a 1991 graduate of the law school and is with the firm of Cogan, Trishon, and Wertheimer in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
As president of the Widener University School of Law Alumni Association, it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you the 19th graduating class of the Harrisburg campus. On behalf of the 13,000 graduates that came before you. As a graduate of our fine law school, you will join our alumni body, which is located in every state of the union and in a number of countries around the world. Our areas of practice are diverse, from the traditional law firm setting to government service to the nonprofit world. Many of us are members of the bench. Others lead some of our nation's most prominent corporations. I tell you this because all 13,000 of us sat where each of you sit today. We are aware of the challenges you face, and we are here to support you in any way we can. I encourage you to engage us. The Alumni Association and the Law School offer numerous opportunities for alumni to gather, to network, and to grow, both personally and professionally. I hope that in your fellow alumni you'll find support and encouragement as you launch your careers. Take the tools you have learned over the past 3 or 4 years and use them to the best of your ability. Have confidence in yourself and always aim to be the best that you can be. With these tools, you can fulfill any of your dreams. On a personal note, if I have one bit of advice that I can give to all of you, it would be to continue to make Widener a part of your life. I say this to you because of my position on the alumni board over the past 19 years, and most recently, as my election as board president, has been for me one of the most rewarding experiences I have had in my entire life, both personally and professionally. Dean Amons has always said it best. We at Widener are a family, and I thank her for fostering that feeling. I welcome all of you and your families to our Widener family. Congratulate you on your wonderful accomplishments and wish you all the best of luck.
Well, today we are celebrating the first of the 20th year anniversary of this law school. We have co-valedictorians. And our first co-valedictorian has achieved the highest grade point average of the class and will graduate summa cum laude. This year, first of all, we will hear from Ms. Nicole Santo. She is a graduate of Pennsylvania State University, where she majored in political science, public relations, and international studies, and minored in Spanish. While at Widener, Nicole has been on the Dean's List every semester and has received 5 certificates of achievement. A member of the Phi Kappa Phi Honor Society, she was president of the Student Bar Association and served as symposium editor of the Widener Law Journal. She was a member of the Moot Court Honor Society and was named as an academic support fellow. She received the Jane S. Bowman American End of Court Award and the Dean Anthony J. Santoro Outstanding Service Award. Nicole recently completed an externship with Pennsylvania Supreme Court Justice J. Michael Aiken. Upon graduation, she plans to sit for the Pennsylvania and New Jersey bars. Please welcome Ms. Nicole Santo.
Overseers, deans, faculty, staff, family, friends, and fellow graduates. I am so honored to stand before you today as your co-valedictorian. It is the first time that Widener has ever had 2 valedictorians, and I have to say this year, I would not have it any other way. Matt and I have traveled on similar paths to get here today. We have known each other since high school, as we both are natives of the greater Wilkes-Barre area. We both graduated from Pennsylvania State University, and after 3 years of law school together, going back and forth on the class rankings, I'm so happy I could share this honor with such an outstanding student and a great friend. To be honest, I personally did not think that this day would ever come. It seems like yesterday we all walked into Widener for the first time, sat in our first class, and were exposed to the terrifying Socratic method straight out of the movie The Paper Chase. After that day, let me tell you, I would never dare be unprepared for class. Even though the first few weeks of classes were intimidating and the professors were tough, they taught us discipline and the importance of hard work, and those lessons have sustained us throughout these last 3 years. But being prepared for class is only the tip of the iceberg. Law school is not easy. Between reading assignments that we thought would never end, moot court arguments and trials in front of multiple judges who asked us every question and hypothetical they could think of, weekends filled with edits for law review, planning events and activities with the Student Bar Association, and spending hours on end outlining and studying for exams, each and every one of us has worked so hard and made multiple sacrifices to get here today. I know I personally have never worked harder at something in my entire life. I think I can speak on behalf of the entire class that it feels really good to be this cap and gown today. There were times in these past 3 years when I know we all got tired and frustrated because it always seemed like a new challenge was around the corner. Just when we thought we got the hang of things first year, second year came around and the work and the reading tripled. Just when we thought we got the hang of writing a 16-page appellate brief, we were assigned law review comments and seminar papers that needed to be at least 30 pages long with more than 150 footnotes. As time went on, the challenges became greater. But what I noticed was that as the challenges became harder, we were growing as well and learning the skills to meet those challenges head on. During my time at Widener, I know I have definitely grown as a person. My first year, I never wanted to talk in class, and I was terrified of ever doing an oral argument. Now I can say I'm more assertive, more confident, and I am ready to meet any future challenges that will be coming my way because I am confident in the skills and knowledge that I've obtained while here at Widener. For as hard as I say law school has been, it has all been worth it. It has been exciting to go to class every day and learn so many new things from such distinguished professors. All of us graduating were so fortunate to have been taught by the professors that we've had over the past 3 years. No other law school's faculty or staff could compare to the individuals who work at Widener. Whether it be staying after class to answer questions, helping to determine what classes to schedule, helping us finding a source in the library, passing around resumes to help obtain internships and jobs, or just talking about past experiences, the faculty and staff here are incredible, and on behalf of the graduating class, I would like to thank them for everything they have done for all of us these past 3 years. Now I would like to take some time to thank those people that have been by my side throughout my law school journey. To the friends that I've made while here at Widener, thank you for all the support. We all know what we've been through, and we got through together, and we still even managed to have some fun. Thank you for showing me that law school is probably the hardest 3 years of my life, but also probably 3 of the most enjoyable. I will never forget any of you or all the good times that we've had, whether it be in school, work, 3rd Street, St. Patrick's Day parades, baseball games, bowling, downtown, or even at the shore. You know you have good friends when they've known you only less than a year, but they're still willing to push you around in a wheelchair in the sand after you clumsily fell, sprained your ankle, and are not coordinated enough to use crutches. Thank you all, I still owe you guys. To my friends here today from high school and college, thank you for still being my friends after I've been relatively absent these past 3 years, and have probably annoyed you by complaining about studying every single day and constantly using legal jargon in our emails. It means so much to me to see you here. To my boyfriend Peter, you've been with me throughout these past 3 years with the good, the bad, and the ugly. I know you didn't sign up to go to law school, but you feel like you've gone through it, and really you should be receiving an honorary GED today. Thank you for listening to all my tantrums, panic attacks, breakdowns, and so forth, putting everything in perspective for me and keeping me grounded. To my family, and especially my parents, Mom and Daddy, thank you for everything you've done for me these past 24 years. Not only have you constantly supported me financially as well as emotionally, but I know I can always count on you and you will always be by my side. Also, thank you for being so understanding, especially around Thanksgiving and Easter, and the dining room was transformed into my own personal library, and I refused to leave the house for fear that I would fail my upcoming exams. I know how much you've worked and sacrificed to get me here today, and I'm dedicating this day and honor to you. On behalf of my fellow graduates, I would like to thank all the parents, families, and friends out there that have provided us with constant support. We could not have done it without you. In closing, I cannot explain how proud I am of all of us for achieving this honor today. We will be walking out of here as attorneys and the future leaders of the legal community. As we embark on our careers, I can only hope we stay true to ourselves, act honestly, and never allow our integrity to be compromised. Today just goes to show you that Walt Disney got it right. If you can dream it, you can do it. And all that's left to say is, we did it. Congratulations. Thank you.
And now, for also achieved the highest grade point average and will graduate summa cum laude. Matthew Iyer is a graduate of Pennsylvania State University with a Bachelor of Science in Business Management. While at Widener, Matthew has been on the Dean's List every semester, received 5 certificates of achievement. This year, Matthew was a senior staff member of the Widener Law Journal and a member of the Moot Court Honor Society. He served as an advocate for the Widener Civil Law Clinic last semester and was named an academic fellow. He received the E. John Weary Jr. Award and the Legal Research and Writing Award. Matthew will take the New York and New Jersey bar exams this July, and then will continue his legal education in the New York University Masters of Taxation program in the fall. Please welcome Mr. Matthew Iyer.
Thank you, Dean Ernst. Provost Allen, members of the Board of Trustees, overseers, deans, faculty, staff, graduates, families, and friends among us today. I'd like to start by incorporating many of the thanks my lifelong friend Nicole gave in my speech, and adding special thanks to those nearest and dearest to me, without whom I would not be the person I am today. That said, I'll share a brief story. The day was the third Monday in August of 2007, a day better known to many of us here as the first day of law school. My first class was Property 1 with Professor John Dernbach, and we were covering the topic Acquisition by Discovery. Having taken the requisite 6 hours to read all 16 pages of the assignment, I was trying to contribute on day 1. So when Professor Dernbach opened up the floor for discussion, I raised my hand and spoke. And I would like to be able to stand here before you today and say that those first words were unimportant and deeply profound, but they were not. In fact, what I said made absolutely no sense, and contributed in no way to the class discussion. To quote a classic movie, everyone in the room was dumber for having listened to these. Now, when I first began speaking, a few heads had turned to look at the brave soul in the back of the room. But by the time my rant ended with a crescendo of stupidity, everyone had turned to get a look at the idiot. After all, he wasn't going to be around much longer. After property, I had a 3-hour break until torts, so I headed down to the library lounge to look over the assignment. When I plopped down into the remarkably comfortable leather couch, my sleep-deprived eyes grew heavy, and I pondered if it would be acceptable for me to take a brief nap. Now, as Dean Ernst and Nicole mentioned earlier, I'm a Penn State grad. And at Penn State, there's this massive building in the center of campus called the Hub, with several hundred chairs one would find in a nicer reception area of an office. At any given time on a weekday, it's difficult to find one of these chairs empty because so many students routinely use these chairs to catch up on sleep. Figuring Widener's lounge was no different, I calmly drifted into oblivion. Unbeknownst to me at the time, sleeping in the lounge at Widener is a far less common event than it was at Penn State. A short time later, my groggy eyes opened to see a man who I would later come to know as Professor Robinette. For those of you unfamiliar with Professor Robinette, he is one authoritative-looking man. He's the kind of guy that would feel just as comfortable grilling West Point cadets as he does grilling first-year law students. As he strolled on by, having noticed I had just been asleep, he gave me a brief but unmistakable, disappointed father look. Although he didn't say anything aloud, I knew what he was thinking. Look at this undisciplined one-out. Can't hack it on day 1. He's not. Now there comes a point in a man's life when his honor has been tarnished and there's only one of 2 things he can do: fight or flight. So as I exited the heavily tinted front doors of the library, I was momentarily blinded by the bright August sun. Undeterred on my mission to get the hell out of there, I simply bowed my head and raised my left arm as a shield. I took about 3 or 4 more steps and then boom, I walked directly into the flagpole. As I reeled back in pain and embarrassment, I took a look over my right shoulder. No one was there. And over my left, the same. Just when I thought the coast was clear, I heard a raspy voice from the area of the smoker's room ask if I was all right. It was none other than Sergeant Les Jumper on his way. on his mid-morning patrol. Realizing my infirmity was more mental than physical, he gave an exuberant chuckle and continued on. Although he did not verbalize his thoughts, I knew what he was thinking. This guy can barely make it to the parking lot. He's got no shot to make it to the law school. And so as I made my way to the parking lot without further incident, it became abundantly clear to me that I, in fact, would not make it unless I kept my mouth shut, my eyes open, but most importantly, my chin high. Now, it would be nice for me to wrap this speech up by repeating those exact commandments to my fellow graduates, but it would also be malpractice for me to assume that anyone recently trained in the art of challenging everything would be able to keep their mouth shut for very long, myself included. Nonetheless, I do urge my colleagues to maintain their willingness to encounter the unknown and their positive attitude, and their positive outlook in the future, because having done so for the past 990 days, we're here today because we made it. Thank you.
Presenting our commencement speaker is Mr. Nicholas P. Trainer. Mr. Trainer, retired president of Sartoga Company of Exton, Pennsylvania, and a longtime Widener University trustee, is our newest chairman of the Board of Trustees. A trustee since 1984, Mr. Trainer previously served as vice chair of the board. He is a 1964 graduate of the Pennsylvania Military College, now known as Widener University. We are pleased to welcome Mr. Trainer to the commencement ceremonies today. Chairman Trainer.
Thank you, Dean Anders. Greetings, Madam Provost Allen, Secretary Pedro Cortez. It's my pleasure. The Widener University School of Law welcomes you to today's commencement ceremony. Before the days of administering Pennsylvania's Department of State, you grew up in Carolina, Puerto Rico, where your mother, Divina, single-handedly raised you and your sister, Myra. You have credited your mother with teaching you the values of hard work, education, and basic human goodness. Three things that are so obviously woven into the fabric of your life. You put your University of Massachusetts undergraduate degree in hotel, restaurant, and travel administration to work in Harrisburg in 1990, when you began managing a 9-screen AMC movie theater. After 2 years of hard work, you answered the call to public service by accepting a caseworker position with the Pennsylvania Department of Public Welfare, and later as a personnel analyst at the State Civil Service Commission. Once again, you looked to education to open doors and enrolled at Penn State's Dickinson School of Law while maintaining connections with the Civil Service Commission that led to work as an assistant counsel after your 1999 graduation. But in less than a year, your drive and determination has caught the attention of then-Governor Thomas Ridge, and you were tapped to direct the Governor's Advisory Commission on Latino Affairs, a position you assumed while studying for your master's degree in public administration at Penn State. Your time with the Commission improved the lives of Latinos in Pennsylvania as you worked to ensure state government was accessible, accountable, and responsible to their needs. Governor Edward G. Rendell nominated you to your current position in 2003. And that May, you became the first confirmed Latino cabinet member in Pennsylvania and the first Puerto Rican Secretary of State in the United States outside of the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. Today, you stand as the longest-serving Secretary of State in Pennsylvania history. You've dedicated the last 7 years to overseeing the department that licenses more than 800,000 business, health, and real estate professionals. You also serve as the Commonwealth's Chief Election Officer, acting as the gatekeeper for Pennsylvania's democratic system. 6 months ago, you were elected chairman of the Commonwealth's Interbranch Commission for Gender, Racial, and Ethnic Fairness, a position dedicated to ensuring people of every race, gender, and ethnic background are treated fairly and respectfully throughout state government. We honor you as a thoughtful and determined man who, as a husband to Lizetta Lizardi Cortez and a father to young Gabriella, who I had the opportunity to meet before today's ceremony, and I can assure you that Gabriella is very proud of her father. You've demonstrated a commitment to the ideals of family, public service, and equality. Along the way, you've been a great friend to Widener Law, speaking at and attending school functions, serving on the school's diversity board. For these and many other reasons, Secretary Pedro A. Cortez, Widener University School of Law, is pleased to award you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
On behalf of the President of Widener University and the authority granted to him by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the trustees of Widener University, I confer upon you, Secretary Pedro A. Cortez, the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and immunities pertaining thereto.
Thank you, Chairman Trader, for your kind introduction, and Provost Allen for the conferral of the honorary degree. Good morning, and congratulations, class of 2010. I bring you greetings and good wishes from Governor Ed Rendell. Let me ask you a question. Was law school worth it? As we gather in celebration, some of you may be pondering this question. Being the beneficiary of a legal education, I am here to tell you that your investment in law school was definitely worth it. And moreover, it was one of the best life decisions that you could have made. But before I tell you why I think it was worth it, I would like to thank my dear friend, Dean Linda Ammons, for her inspiring leadership and gracious invitation to serve as your commencement speaker. To Chairman Nicholas Traynor and other members of the Widener University Board of Trustees for your guidance and direction. Thanking also Assistant Registrar and Commencement Committee Chair Molly Ackred and Public Relations Officer Mary Allen for working with my office on the many details required to facilitate my attendance. And the entire Widener University School of Law family for providing me the opportunity to address the graduating class. Also the parents, the spouses and other relatives, the friends, faculty, staff, and other distinguished guests gathered at this celebration. Let us go back to the question. Was or is law school still worth it? In fact, well, this question is being asked by many inside and outside the legal profession. In fact, the cover article of the May-June 2010 edition of the Pennsylvania Lawyer makes the same inquiry. Some believe that a legal education is not as valuable now because today's graduates face the challenges of rising tuition costs that leads to heavier debt and a tighter job market. Despite these realities, there's good news to share. The latest edition of the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics Occupational Outlook Handbook reports that lawyer employment should grow by 13% in 2010-2011. To this, add the developing reputation of the Widener University School of Law as a preferred institution for the hiring of graduates who go on to judicial clerkships. In the Pennsylvania Lawyer article, Dean Ammons is quoted as saying, "Our students are clerking for judges at a much higher rate than the national average. For the last 2 years, we have placed students in judicial clerkship at 21% and 20% respectively. The national average for such placements is 9%. And while most of you may decide to pursue a traditional legal career, let us remember that many lawyers also work in non-legal roles." The cover story in the May 2010 edition of the American Bar Association Journal highlights the fact that a growing number of lawyers are being tapped to lead America's Fortune 50 corporations as CEOs and in other executive functions. Why is that? According to the ABA article, business leaders and corporate headhunters agree that the Juris Doctor degree is once again an alternative to the MBA as the degree of choice for CEO candidates, and that the trend is likely to continue in the next decade. The law degree is today's Renaissance degree, according to James Bradford, Dean of the Owen Graduate School of Management at Vanderbilt University. Dean Bradford is a former practicing lawyer and CEO. Jeff Smisek, the CEO of Continental Airlines, states, "The CEO role requires the ability to constantly break down problems and analyze issues that are at the core of a decision. Legal training provides this type of analytic approach." CEOs now say that the skills learned in law school and developed in legal practice can be applied to any profession or industry. Many corporate general counsels do more than provide legal reports and guidance. They are expected to come up with business solutions to problems. And I can personally attest to this. At one point in time, 7 out of the 11 members of the Pennsylvania Department of State Executive Office, executive staff, were attorneys. 7 out of 11. Only one, the chief counsel, was serving in a traditional legal role. Now that we established that law school is a worthwhile investment, let us consider other factors that would add value to your degree. People ask me frequently, what do I look for in the ideal employee? If I can choose that person that is perfect, what would that person have? And I answer that question by naming 2 attributes, 2 primary attributes. First, aptitude. That will be the technical skills to be able to do the job, the ones you learn through experience and training, such as your law degree from Widener Law School. That's part 1. The second part, second attribute, is attitude. Those are the interpersonal skills, good disposition, the smile, the good heart. And since we are in an academic setting here, let me put it to you in a mathematical formula. When you put together aptitude plus attitude, you get altitude. How high you go in life. And frankly, if I have to choose from someone that doesn't have both of those attributes, I always opt for the latter. for the attitude. Someone with a miserable attitude will poison the well for everybody else, and they will be very good for the organization. So, in addition to attitude, allow me to share with you some other factors that I believe would add value to your degree. And many of them have been represented through my life career. First, go above and beyond in the scope of your prescribed responsibilities. Do not limit yourself to the four corners of your job description. I want to make sure I'm not misunderstood. Make sure you do what is on your job description, earn your paycheck. But don't stop there. Take the opportunity, take your leadership role, take whatever resources you have to your avail to help others. And that may include writing letters of recommendations, counseling, mentoring. Also, volunteer for special assignments. You grow from them. Come in early, stay late, work through your breaks and weekends if you have to. It's amazing how many individuals you get to meet and you relate to, and you come to develop a reputation for hard work when you do so. Also, do not be afraid to take calculated risks. And I mean calculated. I work at in the state capitol here on the 3rd floor of the North Office building. Somebody asked me to open the window of my office and jump out the window, and there's not a net to catch me. That's not a calculated risk. That's just plain stupid. But if the building is burning and there's a net down there, they say, we'll catch you. Take that calculated risk. If you want to kiss the fire, you just have to do it anyhow, I guess. But it's to me as an employer, as a manager, it's important to allow others to take calculated risk. Because if you don't do so, you stifle creative thinking. Additionally, value diversity. There's much to be learned from the experiences and perspectives that people from different backgrounds bring to the table. Issues that you may not have otherwise considered. This is a big one for me. Remember names. You know how many of us go through life saying, oh, I remember the face. I just can't remember the name. When you say that to yourself, you know, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. George Walter, which is one of the best-known motivational speakers in the country, has indicated that the most important word in any language is the name of the person with whom you're speaking at any given point in time. One of my thought leaders and someone that I read constantly, Dale Carnegie, in his seminal book, How to Impress and Influence People, puts it slightly different. He notes that when you remember a person's name, you pay them a subtle compliment. You're letting them know that they're important enough to you to remember. So in addition to remember names and the others, be a go-getter. Don't wait for opportunities to arise, but create them. And while creating your own opportunities is vital, the fact remains that we still need others to help create opportunities for us and help us along the way. In fact, only a few of us here today, if there's any at all, can say that they have made it to this point in their lives without some help. I assure you that I have not. The angels in my life, and perhaps in your lives, are your parents, your spouses, and other family members, your friends and classmates, your professors, especially the one that took you under his or her wing when you needed that person most, your advisors and financial aid counselors. Since I talked about finance in law school, and I'm still paying my student loans, let me just say and validate your decision. The money that you put forth, and perhaps your loved ones for law school, was not an expenditure. Look the word expenditure in the dictionary. It's associated with waste and everything that is negative. You did not, spend money in law school. You invested money in law school. But for that law degree, I would not be here today. I would not have the financial abilities that I have to pay that loan, and I really live a comfortable life from this point forward. And when you become successful, Do not forget to be an angel to others. Open doors for those who will follow. As your success increases, please remember the less fortunate in society. My childhood hero from Carolina, Puerto Rico, where I'm from, the great Baseball Hall of Famer Roberto Clemente, was best known for his athletic abilities. Do you know that he was also an extraordinary humanitarian? He died New Year's Eve, 1972, taking supplies to victims of a devastating earthquake in Nicaragua. Think about it, New Year's Eve, famous man would stay home. Instead, he got on a plane that was not airworthy. If he wanted to distribute those supplies, got to those who needed it the most. Clemente would often say, and I quote, "Anytime you have an opportunity to make a difference in this world and you do not, you are wasting your time on earth." That's worth repeating. Anytime you have an opportunity to make a difference in this world and you do not, you are wasting your time on earth. Quote. I know you are not going to waste your time on earth. To the contrary, you will make positive contributions with your talent, your time, and your treasure. To conclude, I congratulate you again on earning your law degree. It is significant, admirable, and you should celebrate the occasion. Widener University School of Law has provided you the building blocks for success in your professional career. Your degree will also open many doors for you. Keep in mind the other factors that will also propel you forward. And those are the acts, the smile, helping and being an angel to others, remembering things. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your graduation. I wish you continued success, good health, and happiness. God bless you.
Cortez and Gabriela are here. I think they're sitting 12 o'clock. Would you just stand to be recognized, please? The Douglas E. Ray Excellence in Faculty Scholarship Award is presented annually to the faculty member who, in the opinion of the Dean of the School of Law, upon recommendation of the faculty, has demonstrated outstanding commitment to the development of the law through exceptional and original works of legal scholarship. I am delighted this year to present this award to Professor D. Benjamin Barrows. Barrows recently published the book Hernando de Soto and Property in a Market Economy. He edited and contributed to this collection of essays on this important Peruvian economist and legal theorist. He also published 3 other articles on property law in 2009, Toward a Model Law of Estates and Future Interests, Legal Questions for the Psychology of Home, and Property and Freedom. Congratulations. That award, each year the graduating class has the opportunity to select, in their opinion, the most outstanding faculty member from their 3 to 4 years of law school. This year's recipient received his BA degree from the Pennsylvania State University, his Juris Doctor from the Georgetown University Law Center. Prior to coming to Widener in 1987, he served as a presidentially appointed United States Attorney for the District of the Virgin Islands from 1983 to 1987. And he teaches, among other things, criminal procedure and advanced criminal procedure. He has also been the recipient of this award 7 times. When I was asking him, how many times have you gotten this award? We kind of lost track. Anyway, Professor James Dean, would you please come to the podium?
On behalf of the Student Bar Association, I am proud to introduce to you the co-chairs of the Class Gift Committee, Alina Hapa and Jorge Conforme.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's our honor to present our Dean, Linda Hammonds, with the gift of the class of 2010. An outstanding number of class members participated in fundraising events and made personal donations to the class.
With the more than $1,300 we raised this year, we've purchased a sports equipment shed and sports equipment for the current and future students of the Harrisburg campus. We are proud to leave these gifts for the students who follow in our footsteps.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that shed. The question is, may I play as well? Well, let me just ask that the house lights be brought up just a little bit. Can you bring the house lights up just a little bit? I want to see the graduates. My eyes aren't as strong as they used to be. Thank you. Secretary Cortez, Chairman Trainer, Provost Allen, and honored platform guests. The program says that the Dean has an address for the graduates, and I do. And my comments are going to be very brief because today is really about you and your families and that piece of paper waiting for you on the table. Today, we are awarding 123 Juris Doctor degrees. Your graduating class consists of 64 women and 59 men. 2 students are graduating summa cum laude, 10 magna cum laude, and 13 cum laude. Beyond this region of Pennsylvania, Maryland, New York, and New Jersey, your class represents California, Connecticut, Florida, Illinois, North Carolina, New Mexico, and Virginia. The first thing I would like for the graduating class to do is to stand. Now. That's good. Wake up. And I want you to applaud your parents, spouses, friends, and significant others for all the support you have been given during your time here at Widener. We start with that. All right, second, remain standing. A round of applause is due to your professors who have worked with you through the years and the staff who have handled many issues beginning with admissions and culminating with today's graduation, and for our alumni and friends, some of whom are present and have also contributed in many ways to your education here. Faculty, would you stand? Faculty and staff, you may applaud. This is the end of my 4th year. We have grown and bonded as a family here together. And during this time, there have been changes in this institution and in you that have been remarkable. I must admit, I have matured a bit myself. I have a little more gray hair to show for it, but it's under the hat. And I'll be doing something about it immediately after the ceremony. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I want to thank you for choosing to come to Widener. You have heard me say that we appreciate the fact that you decided to invest your time and your means in us. You brought to us your skills, talents, and eagerness to learn, and we have fine-tuned your gifts and prepared you for the noble calling of being a lawyer. To all the members of the law school's honor societies and those graduating with academic distinction, well done. There is no substitute for academic excellence. Thank you for leading and showing the way. To my student organization leaders, I thank you for working with me this year to help make our student body all that it can be. Members of this class work either directly for or in the shadow of the seat of government of the 6th largest state in the Union, the Commonwealth. You have been thoroughly prepared to enter the profession of law. However, there is just one more hurdle for you, and that is 94.23, which is the last bar exam result. 95 sounds like, let's just round it up. Sounds wonderful. I know that after 3, 4, or 5 years of study here, you will diligently prepare for the July or February bar, so that your dream of being a practicing lawyer can be operationalized. Now, although you will not be able to see us in those exam rooms during the first week of July, we will be there with you in spirit, knowing that you are properly prepared and you will pass the first time. And here's the image I want you to have in your mind. Think of the Verizon wireless commercial with all the people backing up the call. You have had and will continue to have thousands who are in your corner. I will see you once again in November at our swearing-in ceremonies. And for those of you who have already passed the bar, are any of you here today? Stand up. Let me just say that I am proud of all of you. And we are giving you today the current volume of the Law Alumni Magazine. You are part of Widener's legacy, and you join over 13,000 alums, as our president said, represented in all over the United States and parts of the world. They've gone before you to make their mark on the world. Members of the Widener family always look out for each other, and you will discover when Widener alums encounter each other, there is a special bond of history and professionalism that links you back to this place forever. I hope that you will come back to the campus as often as you can. Join the Alumni Association and be active in bar associations. And from time to time, I will come looking for you at your law firms, courthouses, legislatures, businesses, hospitals, state and nonprofit agencies to keep you current with what is going on here at Widener Law. Unfortunately, this past year, we lost several members of the Widener family, including the Honorable Charles Morarkey Jr., a longtime supporter and faculty member whose funeral mass I attended yesterday. Dean Arthur Weeks, the second law dean of this school. Longtime faculty member, distinguished Professor Robert J. Lipkin of the Delaware campus, and former Professor E. John Weary. Would you join me in observing a moment of silence in remembrance? Thank you. Being legally trained, people will look up to you for advice. After all, we have been trained to be problem solvers. You are considered knowledgeable and wise, and people will expect you to know the answers to their problems right now, regardless of the fact that they have nothing to do with your area of expertise. Don't worry. Family members and friends, if they have not already done so, will prepare you for those encounters. And as that great celluloid philosopher Christopher Robin said to Pooh, quote, "Promise me that you will always remember that you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." Close quote. As a lawyer, people will trust you. Please do not betray their trust. Be trustworthy. You are a leader. And successful leaders understand that the true measure of success is not how much money you make, but the difference you make. The privilege of being a part of this profession requires that you invest in communities and others. The Widener law tradition includes being passionate about service, and I'm extremely proud of the way your class has been civically engaged. 31 students in this class have devoted 4,986 hours to pro bono service. That calculates to be about 160 hours per student. You have volunteered in the Veterans Law Clinic, District Attorney's offices, Public Defender's offices, Civil Law Clinic, Board of Pardons, Board of Probation and Parole, Human Relations Commission, Judges' Chambers, VITA, and various offices within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Will all our graduates with pro bono distinction please stand? The late Shirley Chisholm, the first African-American woman in Congress, once said, quote, "Service is the rent you pay for your room here on earth," close quote. I'm extremely proud of the way that you have been engaged while here at law school. In closing, let me say that lawyers have the awesome capability to change lives and affect history. You are the guardians of democracy and champions of justice. The tools we use are words. I'm always amazed at the power of the word. Words can heal or hurt, build or destroy, motivate or oppress. Over the past few years, you have learned the rules of law, which are words crafted in a way that we govern ourselves by and with them. We consent to order our lives around what the words say. As you leave this law school and take your place in a world that is ever more complex, unsure, complicated, and flat, as you zealously represent your clients, administer justice, build businesses and nations, use the training you received here at the Widener University School of Law, not just to accumulate wealth and things, but use the word, a word, to make this place a better world. I hope that you take great pride in the fact that you are connected by profession to Cicero, Sir Thomas More, Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, Thurgood Marshall, Gandhi, Mira Bradwell, Constance Baker Motley, Eleanor Holmes Norton, Sandra Day O'Connor, Sonia Sotomayor, and the thousands of others who have chosen or who have been chosen for this vocation. We will never meet again as we have today, but we are forever linked together, and I am honored that our lives have intersected at this time, at this place called Widener. And so, may your lives be filled with joy and good health, and may your joy be complete. May your careers prosper and take you to places you could only dream of. May you have just enough challenges to stretch you and keep you focused on the important things. And may you forever be in the palm of God's hand. Y que esté siempre en la palma de la mano de la Dios. A los graduados, yo les saludo. Graduates, I salute you. Will the candidates for the group degrees please rise? Madam Provost, the students you see standing before you have successfully completed the courses of study prescribed for the degree for which they are candidates. Upon recommendation of the faculty of the Widener University School of Law, it gives me great satisfaction, therefore, to present them for their degrees. I ask that all candidates be seated. Now, will the candidates please rise one row at a time and come forward to receive your diplomas. We are being assisted today by Vice Dean Robin Meadows.
Kristen Michelle Bender. Jennifer Ann DeRoche. Lindsay Allison Brzezinski, Esquire. Alicia Blankenship. Christopher Joseph Fong. Lisa Braun. Pete W. Grosius. Amanda Brown. Jim Buck. Christina Byron. Grant W. Hammond. Amber Marde Marie Karma, magna cum laude. Brady Thomas Carter. Allison Louise Castle. Tyler Benjamin Chris cum laude. Andrew John Conover. Jorge Conforme. Victoria Childs. Caitlin Elizabeth Kutnell. Brianna Ray Davidson. Krista L. Davis. Brian E. DePaul Jr. Esquire. Kusha Atul Kumar Desai. Kim Allison DeTambio. Michael Vincent DiGirolamo. Kristen Elaine Dillon. David J. Drummond. Megan Colleen Durr. Matthew Travis I. Summerlin. Nicholas Finelli Esquire. Samuel Edward Farkas, magna cum laude. William Coke. Megan Catherine Frank. Michelle L. Hall. Melissa Galarza. Justin Carey. Samara Renee Gertner. Amanda Olsen. Allison C. Gossett. Andrea Marie Kukovic. Alina S. Kabak. Crystal L. Jackson, magna cum laude. Robert Junior Esquire, cum laude. Lauren Janelle Thornton. Robert A. Culling, cum laude. Matthew J. Landis, cum laude. Ryan Lashley. Corey Adam Leshner, Esquire, magna cum laude. Brooke Irene Lewis, Esquire. Holly Catherine Lewis. Ashton McCaffrey. Jennifer Malich, magna cum laude. Keisha Maloney. Stephen Maris. Elizabeth Rowan Marks, magna cum laude. Stephen Matsura, magna cum laude. Kimberly McEwen. Matthew James McHugh. Daniel C. Kenrick, cum laude. Reginald McCoy. Scott Fellows. Emily Ruth Copeland. Hillary Hudson. Ian Edward Kakiji, cum laude. Amanda Dawn Recker. Matthew Rich. Alberto Rivera. George R. Wall. Michael Colby. Stephen Rubin. Nicole M. Santo, summa cum laude. Shannon Sargent. Diana Corinne Lindsay M. Shannon, cum laude. Elena C. Schroeder, magna. Francesca May Schultz. Catherine L. Schweitzer. Matthew Allen Sembach, cum laude. Ryan Keith Seibert. Bianca Smith. Fawn Elizabeth Smith. Jennifer Smith Essex. Steve Snare. Dana Sue. Lynn Nappy Taylor. Allison Elizabeth Petit. Levi E. Hubbard. Abby N. Strobinger, Esquire, cum laude. George Masaleanos. Jonathan M. Bell. Ryan Weber. Aubrey Wexler. Wesley Widener. John Ryan White, cum laude. Megan Allie Whitner. Stuart Wolf. Clifford Paul Zanoni, cum laude. Adam Zahn.
Will all the candidates for degrees please rise?
behalf of the President of Widener University and the authority vested in him by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the trustees of Widener University, I confer upon you the degrees for which you have successfully completed the prescribed courses of study, and for which you have been recommended by the faculty of the Widener University School of Law. It is signified by the diploma you now hold in your hand, and is conferred with all the rights, privileges, and immunities pertaining thereto. Graduates of the Widener University School of Law, I salute you. Congratulations.
Dear gracious God, we thank you for this joyful day. We ask, Lord, that you would bless each graduate and give all the guidance that they will need throughout their lives. We also ask that you would grant them the courage to pursue justice, the wisdom to discern truth, and the compassion to serve all those who seek their counsel. Multiply their opportunities to use their gifts and to sharpen the knowledge they have gained at the Widener School of Law. As we close this commencement ceremony, we also ask that you bless all those who have attended and all those who have supported our graduates. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you for attending today's ceremony. It has been absolutely joyous today. And I hope that you will join us for a reception at the Harrisburg Hilton immediately following the recessional. Please remain seated as the platform party and faculty begin the recession. The graduates will follow the faculty from beginning with the last row first. And if you really like what happened today, I'll be back next year at the same time. Have a good day.